Good morning, welcome back to Wild Mountain Farm. If you're new around here, my name's Arden and today we're going to be planting strawberries. So I have a couple of varieties here. They arrived a couple of days ago. They said on the box to plant immediately, but we haven't got around to it. We did the market yesterday and yeah, we've been busy. So I have two varieties, Jewel and Albion, which is the other one. So Albion is a ever-bearing strawberry, which means that they produce fruit all year long, or through kind of spring and summer. And then Jewel is a June-bearing strawberry, which means that they just set fruit and then they will all ripen in June. We'll pick them all and then they'll be done for the season. So this is our first time growing strawberries. So I'm going to get a bed ready for them. I'm going to go right here where the tarp is. This ground is going to be not great. It's going to be hairy. We've only just put this tarp down on here, but I'm going to lay drip tape for irrigation, and then I'm going to put black plastic down. So it won't matter that much that it is a little bit weedy, but I've chosen this bed because it's on the end, so it's next to our little willow fence that we have going on here. So we've chosen to put it here because obviously we're not going to want to tarp this. They're going to be here for the next, I think that they last for like 3 years, so you get 3 seasons out of them. And so I'm not going to want to put a tarp on here, so I wanted them to be on the end bed and be out of the way. So that all being said, I am now going to pull up the tarp and get started. Okay, well, here is my bed. It is very, very hairy. Tulsi's hoping that there's a vole under there, but there's not. It is hairy, but don't fret. Like I said, I am going to put black plastic down and then it won't even matter. The black plastic will kill any weeds. And stop the strawberries from getting weedy in the future too, so that'll be good. But before I do that, I'm just going to prep it like I would any other bed. I'm just going to fork it, chuck some fertiliser down, put some compost on there, and then lay the fabric. Is on. My bed is more or less ready, so that's great. I'm a little short on plastic, but that's okay because, like I said, with my funky spacing that I'm doing, I'm not even sure if I'm going to have enough to fill this bed anyway, so not the end of the world. So I'm going to need to punch holes in this. Now ideally I'd have some sort of like torch blower or something, that would be ideal, but I don't. So I'm just going to use a knife and cut holes in the plastic, and then I can plant the strawberries. I think that's all there is to it really. I'm going to try and make an effort to separate obviously the June bearing ones and the ever bearing ones, just so that we don't get confused, but I think it's probably going to be pretty obvious when they start producing fruit. Okay, so I just looked back at my notes, and we're actually going to plant them even closer than I was saying. We're going to plant 2 rows and we're going to plant them at 10 inches apart, and then the rows will be about 18 inches apart sideways, if that makes sense. So we'll actually be able to get even more in here than I was thinking, which is great. And then the June bearing ones, we will cut all of the berries off of this year. We won't even let them ripen. As soon as they start kind of flowering, we'll stop them from doing that. But the ever bearing ones, we will cut all of the flowers off for the first 6 weeks, and then after that we'll get fruit off of them. So we will get enough, hopefully, like I say, just even for us to have some milkshakes would be brilliant, but more than that and I'd be happy. So we're going to do 1 row of the ever bearing and then the other row of the June bearing, just so that we know which one's which type thing. And yeah, I'm going to get to that now. So I have 2 varieties, so I need to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to put the Albions in first. I think I have 25 of each, I think, if I remember correctly. So this is 1 strawberry crown. It said on the directions to make sure that you plant the base of the crown at ground level, so you don't want to bury this, is what I think they were trying to say, you know, just make sure you put the roots in. So that being said, it's another new day. It's a beautiful day out, and I have something to show you guys. So Ashley and I went to the local feed store this morning to get more seed potatoes so we could carry on filling in that bed. They were having a chick sale. So we now have a lot more chicks in here. So these are Mama's babies. Oh, so Mama went out with the big chicks. With the big flock. She was over them, she was done, she wanted to be back with the other ones, and she did lose, unfortunately, that little sad chick that I pointed out. So she lost one, so she ended up having 4, and then we've got the 16 that we incubated and hatched. So there is about 20 up here, and then in the back we have another 20. We've got a little mix of, oh, there's a chick back there that's not supposed to be back there, but that's probably okay. Look how cute they are. So these little, the little yellow ones up front here, they are Rhode Island Reds. And then the darker ones in the back are black sextinks, which are just a kind of production breed birds. So we've got 10 of each. So yesterday I made a ton of flats. I made a ton of soil and then I made a ton of flats. So we have to find a home for all of them. So I have no idea how we're going to do that yet. So they all still need sowing. We've got a few kind of things that we haven't sown yet. So we're doing our celery and our celeriac. And then we're also doing our first round of zucchinis and cucumbers, which is exciting. We're actually doing cucumbers a little earlier than I even thought, because once we pull out all the greens back here, we're going to plant, well, the bok choy, we're going to plant the cucumbers in here. So we're kind of hoping that we'll get some slightly earlier cucumbers, which will be fun, really great to have at the market. And then basil too. So yeah, so we've got some few fun things to sow, but I'm actually going to push that project to the side for a minute. Tulsi's now vole hunting. Because it's such a nice day out here, and we're going to focus on planting and moving the chickens. So I think we're going to start with moving the chickens and then go on from there, because it seems silly to sit in the greenhouse when it's so beautiful out. I just saw a raven fly out of the chickens. They come and they steal the eggs. Look, there he is. He's just leaving. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Yeah, now he's up in a tree. That's naughty. Tulsi's usually really good at keeping them away, but obviously she's distracted by the voles right now. But they steal eggs. I don't know if I just said that. I was kind of distracted. But yeah, they steal eggs, or they break the eggs and then the chickens eat them. And that's a really, really bad habit to get into. So, yeah, he's just flown out of that tree. Darn thing. Naughty, naughty. What have the chickens got? Probably a bloody cracked egg. Oh dear, chicky wickies. Right, let's collect eggs so that he doesn't doesn't have anything to... Oh no, it's bread. Actually must have given them a little bit of gone off bread, or like stale bread, not gone off. That's pretty funny. Okay, so I got 22 eggs already, which isn't a bad start for the day. They've been laying about 50 something, so around like 5 dozen a day, which is pretty good, pretty good. So we have to move the chickens in stages because obviously we don't want them to get out. So we've kind of extended it a little bit, but look, they're like all congregating in one area. Look at that, that's ridiculous. But you can see the difference of like where they've been, and they were only here for maybe a week, so they really make a dent. But you can see how green the grass is, and then kind of where Tulsi's going is where they're headed. Oh, Tulsi thinks she's found something. Happy choc chocs. Did you hear that? Less chatting, more helping. That's what Ashley just said. Oh wow, that's cool. Ooh. Finished moving the chickens, and Tulsi found an old bone that she's obviously buried at some point, and she's found it with them, and now she's very serious about finding a new home for her. She has found a suitable place. Oh yeah, now she's covering the dirt. Saving it for later. Okay, so we moved the chickens, and now I'm jumping around again. I've decided to do a bit of a side quest here, and I'm going to be setting up the trellis for our raspberries. So it's turning into a little bit of a fruity vlog, really, what with the strawberries too. So these are our strawberries, our raspberries. They look a mess, they need weed whacking. I have pruned them. We planted these about, I think this is gonna be their 3rd season. Last year we got like a handful of berries off of them, and as you can tell, I did a terrible job trellising them too. So we're really going to try and take better care of them this year in hopes that we actually get some fruit off of them, because that's the idea. Yeah, we really are trying to do some more fruit because they're kind of a low maintenance type crop, which obviously is the complete opposite to vegetables. So it would be nice to have that. So I've gathered a few bits. I've got some string and I've got some wire. So I'm going to start by just cutting down and cleaning this up. I think I might even go get the weed whacker too and do a little bit of trimming here as well, because this really is a mess. So anyway, Operation Save the Raspberries is commencing. Okay, well, I've weed whacked, so they look a lot better already. They don't look like they're going to be eaten by grass anymore, so that's good. So now I'm going to start trellising. I just said to Ashley, I'm not even sure if I'm going to have quite enough wire to do all of them, but we'll see how it goes. So I just have my regular wire, and the plan is that I'm just going to tie it to the T-posts with that string, stretch it out as best as I can. It's not going to be perfect, but it should be good enough. And then I'll kind of clump all of these together. Obviously these are a little bit short, but what I'll essentially do is clump all of these together, and then I've got some proper like trellising twine that we use for the tomatoes, and I'll tie them to the wire like that, just so that they have you know, a little bit more support. And I mean, ideally they'd probably be up really, you know, I'd put the wire up high, but they're still pretty short, so I'm thinking that I'll probably go kind of midway and just tie them like that. Depending on what type of varieties that you have, you're supposed to kind of cut them back every winter or not, or leave them and just prune them. And quite frankly, I have no idea of what varieties we have, which ones are what. I think we've got at least 3 different types in here, and we've lost the tags, and it's just a free-for-all in here. So I've kind of been treating them all the same, which is maybe why we haven't had very much fruit off of them. But I'm just hoping that at least some sort of trellis will be better than nothing. So here we go. Okay, well that actually worked really well, and was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Sometimes working with wire can be a real pain. So yeah, I think that's gonna work just fine. Like I say, you know, I don't know if this is how the real raspberry growers do it, but I think it'll be good enough for us. So I'm gonna do the next 2 rows. I don't think they're actually quite tall enough to trellis them yet, so I'm just going to kind of carry on letting them grow. They're not, you know, as you can see, they're not like actually hitting the floor or anything yet. They're not kind of draped all the way over. There's like one plant here that is, so I'll probably just leave them for now, but at least this is up, and I've got this done so that when the time does come, we can literally just string them and it shouldn't take too much effort. So yeah, pretty happy with this. If we could get raspberries and strawberries this year, I would be a very happy girl. So we'll see how it goes.